Growing up, we're taught to ignore those who are different from us out of courtesy. We're taught not to stare because it is rude, and eventually, not staring turns into avoiding. We carry this pattern of courtesy with us through life until we no longer realize that we are intentionally ignoring people. In high school, this is particularly detrimental. Why? Because everyone is looking to fit in and make friends, and it is hard to be different. At my high school, there were two different groups, the regular everyday kids and the special needs students. The special needs students stay mainly in two classrooms, completely separated from the main part of campus. They eat lunch at specific tables outside of their classroom while supervised by aides, and they leave on the bus immediately after school. Not only is there no opportunity for them to branch out and meet mainstream students, but the mainstream students do not make an effort to interact with the special needs students. In my junior year of high school, I changed this. I understood that in order for this change to occur, any efforts needed to come from a student. Teachers could not force their students to be accepting. A fellow student had to lead by example. So I did just that. I created a team of special needs students to perform a dance at the upcoming rally in March. I knew change is often slow, and the only way to make anything really happen was to thrust these unnoticed students into the spotlight. Putting them at the front of student attention was the only way I could see for them to be noticed. If the integration process was gradual, they would still be ignored. The goal was to create one unified student body by showcasing the hidden talents of these students. These students with autism, Down syndrome, and severe learning disabilities are genuinely loving and kind and want nothing more than to be loved in return by the peers they often idolize and cheer on week after week at football games. On top of blending the student body, I wanted to make these kids' wishes and dreams come true. When you look up in the night sky and you see a star go flying by, you make a wish. So what better name for the team than the Shooting Stars? With the help of a few special day class aides and teachers, I recruited 6 team members: Portia, Kendra, Parker, Martha, Tasha, and Jonathan. And so the Shooting Stars were born in January of 2011. Even while I was extremely optimistic and excited about the Shooting Stars, I had to jump over some bureaucratic hurdles. The principal at my high school was hesitant to let this program continue. He did not want them to be doing cartwheels in their routine or to perform at a rally. He was afraid of their safety and well-being. But his main concern was that the greater student body would not be accepting of the Shooting Stars. He was afraid of the boos and rude comments that he was sure would ensue. Many administrators and teachers, even some special ed teachers, shared in his concerns. The integration process was only intended to be 3 months, from teaching them their routine to their being ready to perform. But due to stalls on the administrative end, 3 months came and went. But I was not going to be stopped. As far as safety concerns went, parents signed liability waivers and pre-screened the routine to make sure they were comfortable with what their students were doing. Eventually, we convinced my principal that a rally would be the best place for the performance, since all students would be in attendance, and that was essential to the goal. Frankly, I was pretty disappointed by how little faith he had in the students. The students were my peers, and I knew what they were capable of. So immaturity and cruelty were of no concern to me. But just to be careful, I posted a status on Facebook as a sort of petition, asking my friends to like it if they would be in support of the Shooting Stars. Within an hour, over 50 students responded. I was 17 years old, and I challenged close to 10 middle-aged school teachers and administrators, and I won. In June of 2011, after 6 months of practice, and one last-minute pep talk. The shooting stars took the floor at the end of the year rally. Cheers and screams from the audience were louder than the music and blew away any and all concerns the administration had had. When Tasha threw up her pom-poms perfectly in time with the end of the song, I was overcome with emotion and could not hold back my tears. But I was not alone. The aides and everyone who had been in my corner throughout the whole process shared my feelings of accomplishment, pride, and loving respect for the brave students who stepped away from the exclusive mentality of high school and embraced the differences of 6 remarkable students. Teachers approached me to say how amazed and proud they were of their students. My peers were no longer viewed as disrespectful and rude, but as mature young adults worthy of their teachers' respect. With all the attention and support from the mainstream students, the team members were no longer just shooting stars, but superstars. They posed for pictures with their peers. They received high fives, hugs, and congratulations from their friends. And they built connections and friendships which would carry over into the next few years. The 2 separate worlds ceased to exist at Livermore High. With the great success of the year before and the pure enjoyment of those involved, we chose to continue the team in 2012. Not a hard choice to make. Of course, the shooting stars were not the only special needs students on campus. But with their warm reception from the rest of the students, all of the special needs students felt more accepted and their confidence was boosted. This, along with the incoming of a few new special needs freshmen, allowed for the team to grow. Unlike the year before, opposition was not an issue, and the team was allowed to perform at rallies and basketball games throughout the year. When they were announced for their first performance, it was obvious that they retained their celebrity status. The crowd erupted in cheer, which lasted for minutes after the performance had ended. That was when I realized I really did succeed. It's one thing for change to occur for a short period of time, but for it to last means that something significant really happened. Not only are they accepted by their school community, but by the entire Tri-Valley community as well. Because they have performed at local events, the videos of their performances on YouTube have over 1,000 hits, and then some. They have been featured in every local newspaper, as well as the CBS Channel 5 News. Who knew that one goal could create such a ripple effect? But the bigger ripple effect is now, it's still student-run since I'm not there. But it's not just run by the coaches, but by all the other students who demonstrate to the younger students who have not yet seen the shooting stars how to act towards those with differences. I ask you to consider how it would feel to be ignored your entire life for no reason other than your differences. Ask yourself what you can do to embrace the differences of others, make them feel more welcome, and how you can challenge societal norms. Before you know it, your efforts can trickle down and empower others to make similar changes, and eventually, no one will feel ostracized.